Hello, welcome back to Paralegal Counseling Training. This is your host and your tutor, Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo. Now, we started looking at paralegals community trainers or paralegals as community trainers. We are looking at section B, which is on Unity 3, which is training skills development. So, as a paralegal counselor who is going to be facilitating the trainings in the community, it is very much important to develop some of the skills that needs to be developed. Um, as the trainer, there are certain traits that are required for a trainer. Like a trainer must be confident, a trainer must be responsiveness and creativity. He must be able to have the information and the understanding. So, in developing training skills, there are two things that are supposed to be looked at. Number one, there are two parts in training. There is program planning skills. So as a trainer, as a community trainer, you should have program planning skills. So you should be able to plan the session, and you should be able to plan the the training. Then the number two is that you should have also teaching learning transactions, which means that now you should be able, you must know how to deliver the information that you want to deliver. So there are two parts: as an organizer and also as a deliver. So as a paralegal, you may need to organize the trainings, and also you may need to facilitate the training. So these are summarized below, and the rest of the book is devoted to expanding what is said here. So we most of the work from here we are looking at the skills that the paralegals they are supposed to have, and we have started with the training skill. So the first the part of the paralegal is program planning skills. So as a paralegal, you should develop the skills in planning the trainings. And before a training program can be carried out, needs assessment needs are assessed. What kind of training do we need to train in this community, or what do we need to inform the people? So you have to do what is called need assessment, so that the trainer can review the assumptions of the educational needs of potential trainees. This helps in the selection of appropriate topics and materials, as well as in clarifying aims and objectives. So when you understand, when you assess what is called program assessment, when you want to start a training, you should have a reason, and you should assess what kind of training which this community needs, or the people in that community needs. So you have to do what is called program assessment. Now, there are tasks that are enshrined, or the tasks that are needed, or the skills that are needed in planning, which are the planning tasks. And these are when planning the training, the following tasks must be considered. Number one, need assessment. You need to assess the need of that particular community. Then you have to context. There is what is called context analysis. Now, how are you going to present to that community? What language are they going to understand, and how do they perceive things? Like especially in the Lulo. In the Lulo, there is traditional law, and also there is which is customary law, and also there is a statutory law. Now, you have to understand the context of the community. Then you have to set training goals and objectives. So you should know why you want to train and what do you want to achieve when you train these people. Number four, you have to organize the learning activities and material. Sometimes you may need to hire somebody to come and help you to train in that community. So you need to prepare all that things. Then after everything as a in planning, you should also set the evaluation, and you saw that next time you'll be able to do better than you have done. So these are the skills that are required when you are doing what is called program planning. The next thing is now teaching and facilitating transaction skills. That is how are you now going to ensure that the information has reached the people. So as a trainer, paralegals must build a supportive and active education climate which encourages participation. He or she must have the ability to provide challenging teaching learning interaction. So there must be interaction. So as a paralegal counselor, you must have those skills that are able to help your interaction with the learners, because your purpose is to transmit the information. So there are strategies for facilitating critical thinking, such as questioning, role-playing, crisis decision, simulations, and all those types of facilitating must be embraced. Where you have to use role play, you have to use many teaching aids that you can be able to use, especially because mostly you teach the elder the elders. So it is very much important to have a wider perspective in the skill training. So what are the facilitating approaches? So there are two approaches that we are going to look at in facilitating. So there are two methods that we are going to look at. There is number one, participatory method, and also the non-participatory method. Paralegals generally are involved in the teaching of adults or people who will be working with adults. It is therefore necessary for paralegals to learn methods appropriate for adults. So the training has to be, as a paralegal, you should know the approach that should be made to the community. As we said that the community and the mostly as paralegals, you work with adults, and even when you are training adults. So you have to understand the method that can be appropriate for adults. So they recommend, or we recommend, a participatory approach, approach and techniques as the best approach for adults. Why is it the best? Because adults will only want to learn something if they can see the need. So the participatory, it is whereby the community, they should see the needs of why they need to train. Then adults expect value for time. So you need to be conscious of time. So the participatory approach, it is whereby you agree on time. Adults learn more quickly and remember longer if they are actively involved. So you like your participatory approach, it is whereby you are doing discussions, you bring about law or sketches and all that. Adults are experienced people. New learning will be scrutinized and rejected if it does not agree with experience. So the other thing about adults is that They want to learn something that they can relate. So if they cannot relate the information that you are giving them, they will not be able to get the information. So you have to be relational, and they should participate. They should bring out the examples. I remember when I think I was about 19 or 20 years when I was given to teach the pastors who had not been to the Bible school. So I had these classes of teaching those elders and very experienced people who have been in pastoral for some times, and I was very young. So one thing that I knew was, and I understood, was that I don't have these people. They have got experience, they have got knowledge, and the knowledge that they have, I may not even have it. So what I did was to allow them, when I bring out the topic, they should be able to participate. So what the informal training, what it does, people may learn Z, B, what? So what I did was that I wanted to bring them to in the systematic study. So I'll bring the topic and they'll be able to get it and understand it in their perspective and share the information. I think most of you have participated in our class where we allow the discussion and we allow each one to bring in the discussion assignment in class so that we may learn from each other. Adults learn best in an informal environment. Don't put them in a class. Like, as adults, I think you should put them in a seminar like approach. So the elements of participatory training. So these are the elements that should be considered in participatory training. Content is organized around specific needs of trainees. So you should look at the content and don't bring irrelevant things to the trainees, irrelevant things that are not going to help the trainees. Emphasize is on attitudes and skills. So the approach to the community is to develop the skills of what you want to achieve. Then and competitive tests are used to verify competence and help learners and trainers to identify weak areas. So, and competitive tests, it's whereby there is no marking. You should not have the marking where you give them, oh, this one has gotten 100%, this one has gotten 2%. No, when you are dealing with a community and the adult, you don't do what is called competitive tests, whereby people, they want to compete, who is going to get number one or what. It's not about getting number one, but it's about having the information. So the other thing is that there is the attitude that the teaching method must be adopted to the students. So it's not an imposed teaching. The teachings that are imposed are when people are in grades from grade 1 to grade 12. But when you, especially when you are dealing with the adult education, especially in the community, it must be there is the attitude that teaching method must be adopted to the student. There is a relationship between theory and practice. Always, whatever that you are teaching must be related to practice. There is an open climate for discussion and interaction. So much time must be given to interaction. So this is what we call the participatory training, the participatory approach of training. Now, The non-participatory approach, which is not recommended on when you are dealing with a community, they focus, they say, content is organized around academic topics, whereby you want to bring in the theory that are not relevant to the learners, like the theories that we learn in schools. I remember when I was uh, in the theological school where we were learning about angels. I think we have never preached about angels. Then even in law, there are certain theories that we learned which are not relevant to your approach to legal matters. Uh, so now, when you are in a non-participatory training, it is whereby you impose the training. They'll bring about the things that are not even relevant to the context of the community or to the context of the learners. Emphasis is on knowledge and not uh, or not on the practical. So that is where you do a lot of theories without a practical approach. Then there is limited practical of skills in the non-participatory training. Then the tests are competitive. That is where now you mark who has gotten the highest mark and who has gotten the lowest mark. There is an attitude that the students must adapt to the teaching method. It is the students who should adapt to the teaching method, not the teacher. It is the teacher-centered approach. Then theory is separated from practice. So you may find that what you learn in class and what is on the ground are two different things. Now, when we mostly in the community, we use what is called we train people using workshops. So when you run a community workshop, the way you present things and how you talk is just as important as what you say. When you prepare to run workshops, you need to look carefully at things like simplifying language and using creative workshop methods that involve people. So in the community, you will use workshops, and in the workshops, that is there are rules that you're supposed to use, or there are skills that you are supposed to use, like the ground rules for running a workshop. You must, the first thing is that you have to set the ground rules, and everyone must understand the aim of the workshop. They must be understand the aim of the workshop. Ask the question, what are you trying to achieve with this workshop? Let from the beginning people have their personal objective before you even give them the objective. What do they want to achieve? Ask them, what do you want to achieve by the end of this training? Build on people's own experience and understanding. So when you are facilitating a workshop, you have to build on people's experience and understanding. People want to have a better understanding of things that are a part of their lives, and their own experiences must be part of what you are facilitating, what you are learning in the workshops. So when you introduce a new idea, you must link it to things that people know about. So when you are bringing in what is called the unknown, first you have to start with the known, so that they are able to understand. Then formal input should be kept very short. Formal inputs which are too long can become very boring. There are many interesting ways of passing on information to people. You can use role plays, problem solving, exercises, debates, videos, and so on. So use different teaching aids that can be able to help you in facilitating, so that your audience will be able to understand the topics that you are learning. Then in everyone must understand the language used. It is as much better to talk to people in their home language. If this is not possible, use plain language and find the translator or the interpreter. Everyone must have a chance to talk and participate. So when you are dealing with elders, everyone must participate and be able to talk. Ensure that they are all talking. So the guidelines for facilitating workshop: be very clear on your law as a facilitator. Sit the group in a circle. You have to sit the group in a circle. Get people to introduce themselves first. Let them know each other. Let them be free. Create an environment where people are free to participate and to talk to each other. Check if translation is needed and get a volunteer to help. Ask someone in the group to take notes for reporting back later on. Explain how much time you have and how the small group discussion will work. Introduce ideas and questions. Don't enforce your own views. You don't enforce the views. Let people discuss. Then, as a facilitator, you just preside, or you just you are a coordinator. You are a coordinator, a facilitator. So you don't need to impose your views. Introduce ideas and questions. Don't enforce your own views. Keep looking at everyone in the group. Eye contact. Be aware of your own voice. Don't talk too much or too loudly. Be aware of the way you approach people in the group. For example, don't intimidate people. You have to remember that you are not dealing with pupils. You are dealing with elderly people. Don't get into arguments. If for example, one of the participants seems to not to agree with you, don't argue with them. Allow them to develop. Allow and encourage different opinions. Don't allow people to interrupt each other. Be firm with dominant people and say that they should allow others to they should give chance to others. Give people time to think and to explain what they have learned and what they mean when they bring about their point. Explain or summarize brief where necessary. For example, with difficult words or concept, when you have got difficult words or concept, you have to make them understand and explain to them what they really mean. Check if people understand before going on to the next topic. So don't rush into the next topic before people understand, and allow for further questions. Use the go round method to encourage participation from everyone in the group. Yes, this is very important. Ensure that everyone talks, everyone says something. At the end, ask the report back person to summarize, to check if everyone is happy with the report. Thank you so much, and God bless you. I believe we have learned the training skills, but I would want you to, because this material is gotten from the book which is called Paralegal Practice and Counseling, which I have written. So you must ensure that you get this book. It is only 150 kwacha a copy. Thank you so much, and God bless you. And see you in the next class. This is your host and facilitator, Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo.